Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Mass Effect. In the last episode, we rescued a base that had been overtaken by biotic terrorists, and managed to do it without any civilian casualties, so go us, I guess. In this episode, we'll be doing a few more quests around the Hades Gamma Cluster, hopefully 2 I'm planning to polish off. So, first things first, let's take the slow elevator of death up to the galaxy map! So, over in the Hades Gamma Cluster, we're going to be heading to the Plutus system. This is another one that I said we unlocked from getting more than 75% of the total morality points in either the Paragon or the Renegade. And nothing happens to us as we enter the system, but this is going to be a strange episode for a reason I will kind of go through now, because had we got more than 80% of the Renegade points in the game, we would have observed this.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
I have a difficult assignment, Commander. You're the only one I can trust to get it done. There's a criminal leader named Darius in the Skillian Verge who controls most of the Raider activity. I'd like you to negotiate a ceasefire with him.
Wouldn't an Alliance negotiator be better suited for this assignment?
Darius won't respect an Alliance negotiator. He built his empire by killing his rivals. But with your very public achievements, you represent a strong image that Darius has to respect. Show him that the Alliance won't back down. Show him he better make peace while he can.
If you're certain it's a good idea, I'll do what I can.
Excellent, Commander. I appreciate your help. The meeting will take place on a remote barren planet. I'm transmitting the coordinates now. I'm also transmitting the background for this negotiation. 5th Fleet out.
And so that gives us a quest, which we haven't got, because I have not got 80% of Renegade points, so you'll be seeing a lot of alternate footage this episode, because that entire quest, the negotiation, is not happening to my Shepard, but I've got a lot of alt footage for it. So, firstly, I'm just going to do the kind of standard scannings around here, that there is some uranium on Mingito. That sounds like a planet in the Star Wars universe, sounds like Mygito. And in Clocrolis, that's a great one, we have some deposit of samarium. And I'm going too fast for the visualizer again, that's going to be fun. But the planet of interest here is Nonuel. Nonuel. I don't know. Though it is one of the oldest entries in the star charts, Nonuel has not yet been fully mapped. It is the largest body in the asteroid belt of the blue star Plutus, not only large enough to maintain a spherical shape, but also massive enough to maintain the noxious carbon and sulfur dioxides venting from its many volcanoes as an atmosphere. Nonuel is rabidly volcanic, and the source of its great heat is also the source of its inordinate mass. Nonuel is a secondary source of element zero, coalesced around a huge chunk of EZO ejected by a supernova billions of years ago. Surface conditions are extremely hazardous. In addition to the thin crust and numerous magma flows, wide stretches of the landscape are coated with slippery ash and cinders ejected from the volcanoes. I've been bitching for so long about having only on cold worlds for ages, and now it's nice to be on a volcanic world, a hot one. It also means if you look at the map's really friendly, because that's pretty much what a terrain built by lava flows, which is what this is, would look like. And so that's pretty cool. Of course, there's a heat hazard because of it. But anyway, up to the west here is the anomaly to which we are currently heading. I'm deciding whether to cut or not, but we're basically there. You can see the damn shack, so let's head up here, I suppose, without cutting. So there's a kind of speeder outside it and a couple of dead mercenaries. Let's investigate them. Of course, being aware of the level 1 heat hazard we've got here. If we search the body, then the body was carrying a League of One medallion, there's no indication of how or when he found it. Well, the body wasn't carrying it, the mercenary was. There's also a crate that if we examine, it says, judging by the footprints in the ash, the two mercenaries were facing each other over the single crate where they died. Both suffered single gunshot wounds and have a rifle close beside them. So it's basically a duel here by the sounds of it. And inside the crate, we found a carefully wrapped, handwritten copy of one of Matriarch Dilignana's treatises. It's unlikely she penned it herself, but the flowing brushwork and intricate watercolour illustrations clearly show the hand of a master scribe. So, some very useful stuff are coming here. I believe there's also, there's some free shit inside as well. Some rounds, awesome. Anyway, there is a point up to the north and east of here where we will head next. And as ever, it's some boring rubble with a crash probe on it. And gets us some marginally useful things. They'll probably just be sold or turned into Omnigel. Anyway, the next point is a really odd one, but it's all the way up to the north. I'll talk about why it's odd when we get there. Now, if you look at the radar, you will see the edges of the map closing in. But if you look closely, you will see there is a rare mineral off the edge of the map. And yes, that's what's strange about this particular bit. Once we cross the red line, you'll actually hear a bit of dialogue.
You need to turn back.
Ah, Thresher more! I had completely forgotten that was there. Yeah, Joker warns you you're about to hit an invisible wall, and indeed you do if you get any further out there. But anyway, I'd forgotten there was a threshing moor here, so I'm gonna go kill that. And with the moor defeated, I'm just healing up because I got hit by one of its globs and it kind of damaged my wheels a little bit. But now we can access the weird off the edge of the map titanium deposit. Yeah, if you basically if you keep going on, I think you literally do you either shut up, Joker. You either hit a invisible wall, or in some cases like this, you basically hit a visible wall that's just too steep for your Mako to climb. I'd completely forgotten the Thresher Moor was there. That scared the shit out of me. Anyway, there's now just 2 points left, which are right next to each other, so we can head to the southernmost of those 2 points. And here we find a deposit of Samarium for our increasingly large collection now. 27,000 credits, dude. And there's 1 point left, which, of course, is the, in inverted commas, quest marker, because of course we don't have the quest. So when you get to this place, the Warlord's Outpost, there's no one here, and the door is locked, and you have no way of getting in, unless you had already got 80% plus of the morality points, and then this is where the quest happens. So, observe.
Let's go.
I'd hope the Alliance would take this meeting seriously. Instead, they send me a woman. Were you supposed to use your assets to win concessions from me? Your file says you were a war hero during the Blitz. They must give medals to anyone these days.
I don't believe my background is relevant here, Mr. Darius. Shall we talk?
Actually, given my rank, I'd prefer that you call me Lord Darius. Or how about your lordship, if my name is too difficult for you?
Of course, Lord Darius. Now, what will it take for these raids to stop?
These are not simply criminal raids. This was a legal military action to address Alliance trespasses. Alliance miners were illegally extracting Element Zero from an asteroid in my territory. Punitive attacks were the only appropriate response, and I demand an apology from the Alliance.
The Alliance offers its apologies. We didn't realize that you'd claimed that asteroid.
I'm pleased that the Alliance is willing to admit its responsibility for this situation. Now that clear boundaries have been established, I believe we can find a solution that benefits both sides. The miners are welcome to mine Element Zero on my asteroid in exchange for certain considerations.
We're willing to discuss that. What kind of considerations did you have in mind?
The miners will pay a reasonable fee for the right to extract and export Element Zero from my territory. In addition, they will give us a monthly quantity of Element Zero, as well as refining equipment to produce red sand.
I believe we can manage that.
Excellent. Then there's only one other factor between us and an agreement. I want you to ask me nicely. It's the least the Alliance can do after I took their offer and helped them stabilize this region. Swallow your military bravado, Commander Shepard, and say please.
Please, Lord Darius. I am asking you to work with us as a friend of the Alliance.
Excellent. After everything I've done for the Alliance, I'm glad that I'm being accorded the respect I deserve. This OSD formalizes everything. I'm certain our new agreement will be to everyone's advantage. Thank you for your cooperation, Commander. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
And that's the kind of the ideal way through it, is essentially verbally suck Darius's dick, and you'll get out of that quest alright. If at any point you are disrespectful to him, or you piss him off, then this particular series of events happens.
They must give medals to anyone these days.
I'm not here to put up with your crap, Darius. Shall we talk, or should I just shoot you now?
You can't speak to me that way. You and your Alliance owe me, Shepard. You see this gun? This is your gun. Your military set me up here, and now it wants to pretend it doesn't know me. But I know the truth. The Alliance needed me here, so treat me with the respect I deserve.
Someone once said that diplomacy comes from the barrel of a gun.
You can't talk that way. The Alliance will...
But of course, to me, neither of those are happening because were I to get out, I can't get in the Warlord's outpost. So that's what would have happened, but didn't. Because I didn't do all the... I don't want renegade points on this thing. Technically, I could have done them, because what I find interesting about the morality system on this is that it's not a slider, it's 2 separate bars. So you can get both 100 Paragon and 100 Renegade. Wow, not naturally, you have to use the Loric Keying glitch, which is how I earned enough Renegade points to do that mission on the side footage. But I didn't want that on the main one, I don't want my Shepherd to be carrying a load of morality of Renegade points around, because that affects a lot of decisions in future games and stuff like that, how much Paragon Renegade you got in the first game. Anyway, I'm just driving around while talking shit, but we've actually finished up on Trebin, which was quite quick. Wow, it's been quite quick for me, but obviously the alternative footage will have added in about another few minutes. But we've still got time in this episode for another planet, so back to the galaxy. Oh, dude, there's a pool of lava there. I did not know about that. I'm actually going to go investigate that first. Well, the lava looks like shit in terms of the texture, but I totally did not know that was there. Man, I've been bitching for the last few episodes about the lack of lava and hot worlds, and now Nonuel providing everything you need. It's awesome. Anyway, this time, back to the galaxy map for shoresies. Sure, that's a... fuck off for shoresies. Terrible phrase. And we're going to take on another quest in everyone's favourite cluster, the Hades Gamma, this time in the Antaeus cluster down here. This is a weird quest, because we obtained it ages ago, before we were even a Spectre, from a random conversation we heard in the not in the Citadel, it wasn't the Citadel, in an elevator in the Citadel, which is weird, but hey, you can hear things that you can totally acquire quests that way. Anyway, there's a couple of planets to scan. There is Edmos, which gives us a large concentration of hydrogen. Then there is my absolute all-time favourite planet name in Mass Effect. I just love saying it. The planet Ploba. I just love saying Ploba. It's so much fun. It makes your mouth do a funny shape when it does it. And Ploba's an interesting planet, because I'm actually going to read you the description to it. Ploba is the second and by far the larger of Antaeus' 2 gas giants. Active scans by survey ships has returned tantalizing indications of massive solid structures deep within the atmosphere, too regular in pattern to be anything natural. Some believe Ploba is a Jupiter brain, a planet-sized supercomputer. Adherents of the theory have fruitlessly beamed signals towards the sunken megastructures in hoping to get the machine's attention. Others believe that an ancient spacefaring race disposed of their weapons of war by dumping them into the planet. The last attempt to reach and salvage Ploba's deep anomalies went tragically wrong and ended with a crew of 12 being trapped and crushed in the gas giant's lower atmosphere. I just like, that's a really interesting story that fits with a world, and most worlds like that you can't land on don't really have stuff like that, and I think that one's just one that kind of grabs me for some reason. I really like the idea of it. I've mentioned this before, I think. Anything to do with kind of ancient or abandoned civilizations in games, I absolutely love. Not just games, films, media, anything like that, it just completely... I'm a sucker for that kind of story, what can I say? Anyway, if we survey it, we discover a strange object orbiting Ploba. Every time. Chief Engineer Adams and Tally tried unsuccessfully to determine its origins. They did find one of Matriarch Dylanaga's writings stored within. Man, we have got so many of those in recent episodes, it's awesome. We're completing most of our collections now, which gives you a hint that we have nearly actually done with side quests in this game. We've only got about 5 or 6 left to do in the whole game. It's going to be good. And then after that, we can get on to interesting shit. Anyway, the mission we're doing is UNC Missing Survey Team, which takes place on planet Trebin. Trebin is a modest terrestrial world with an atmosphere composed of nitrogen and argon. Its surface is mostly composed of nickel with deposits of silver. Trebin's environment is relatively mild, but the scarcity of water or similar enabling substances has prevented the development of any biosphere. Exogeny Corp recently performed a test impact of a single water ice comet into the surface, the first step of a long-term plan to thicken the atmosphere and introduce water into the environment. A survey team is on the surface, monitoring the geological and meteorological effects of the test impact. Most of the water released is still in the form of atmospheric vapour, but thick cloud banks have formed. There is every indication that this arid world will soon see its first rain. The survey team's progress has been hampered by frequent mechanical or computer failures in their GPS satellites. Trebin is quite a small world as well in terms of actually how much stuff there is to do on it, and straight to the north of us here, you can just see on the edge of the radar, is a mineral deposit. Which, when surveyed, gives us a deposit of, oh, wait for it, plutonium! How exciting! I'm doing the best I can to make surveying endless minerals interesting, but hey, I've got a very limited range of comedy to work with. Anyway, up to the northwest here is another point. And this point, you can see from the map that it's rubble, but this one classes as marginally interesting, because... oh, it's got enemies! And I'm going to run them over. Oh, dude! Someone went flying there. They appear to have... we've gone extremely blue. I don't know if that's good or bad. Well, everyone's dead now. That's what matters. Is that just a burning... what the hell is going on? And who are they shooting? There's some weird shit going on. Oh, what the... there's a man... dude, did we... is he the one that we hit with the... did we hit him with the Mako? He went flying up there. Oh, dude. Well, he's dead now anyway. And there's a crash... no, we're not. Shut up. There's a crash probe here, which is what all this was for. Which gives us the standard crap you get from crash probes. Anyway, our next goal is up to... oh, well, over to the east, actually. There's basically 2 points there, and we're going to the southern of those two kind of parallel points. There are almost no cases... oh. There are almost no cases where the thrusters on the Mako are actually useful for anything in-game. I think they're literally just included just so you can fuck around with them. It's almost exclusively what I do with them. Specifically, I try and time the use of them as just for when I go over a jump to try and get maximum air. It's gnarly. Anyway, there's a secure storage locker here, with some random stuff in it, but of interest is the computer log.
According to these data logs, the survey team unearthed some kind of alien technology.
Perhaps we will find more answers at the excavation site.
And the excavation site is, as you can see, the point just due north of here. But there's actually a few things we can quickly scavenge here. There's a medical kit in this hut, and over in the other hut, there's a malfunctioning object, and that's actually it. So, let's head up to the north, to the kind of mine where they discovered the... oh, hey! Oh, stupid Mako. Oh, up to the mine where they discovered an alien artifact. This is not a particularly interesting mission in terms of actual gameplay, because it just involves a lot of walking through the mine. No real enemies to speak. I'm thinking of a different mission. You'll see what I mean in just a second. I was about to say no enemies to speak of, but look on the map, there's actually a ton of them. I brought Tali and Liara specifically because they're good at dealing with kind of close range stuff, because husks! Husks everywhere! With Master Overkill, which is possibly the greatest thing since sliced bread, you can just mince through all of these. Interesting, isn't it, to see husks without Geth?
The survey team must have unearthed some alien technology that turned them into mindless fanatics.
Whatever they found, it is long gone now.
Yeah, it annoys me that Liara says that, because whatever they found is not long gone, it's right here. It's a glowing orb, and it's got these kind of Gethy-looking legs around it. Looks very much like the thing we saw the Geth worshipping on Ferros, if you remember that in that church-looking thing ages ago, which is pretty cool. But we're not actually done here yet, because when we come into the back, you'll actually find... well, there are 2 doors, and when you approach either one, hey, it's full of husks behind it. And if you're not careful, you can get really badly rushed here, but my god, Master Overkill is the shit. It basically... Why do you even need assault rifles? That accounts for all of the Exogeny survey team. They were converted into cybernetic husks by devices similar to those used by the Geth on Eden Prime. How they came to be buried on a frontier world so far from Geth territory is a mystery. Yeah, like, with Master Overkill on, like, look at the rate of fire on that thing, and the accuracy of it. It's basically like having a tiny assault rifle. It's awesome. Anyway, there's a few things we can briefly get. There's this sludge canister here. And if we go through to the other kind of vent that the husks came out of... not vent, tunnel, idiot. Then there's a secure crate with average decryption, which contains some stuff. And that's us pretty... well, actually, no, that's a lie, because we've actually still got some stuff to do on the surface of Trabin, so that's not us done for the episode at all. Far from it. But anyway, let's head back out to the Mako and the surface. So, there are 2 points left for us on Trabin. If we head over to the east, then there is a deposit of uranium. And is that all the uranium? It feels like we've got a lot of it now. We've got to be nearly, actually, 100% in some of these collections now. And the final point is due south of here. Now, I'm going to try and avoid it as much as possible, but you'll just have to take my word for it that in this wide, flat area covered in holes to the right is what one always finds in wide, flat areas covered in small holes, which is a Thresher Moor down there. It's a nice open arena, so if you want to fight it on foot with snipers, this is a brilliant opportunity to do so. I might go and do it off camera, but I'm not going to bother showing it because Thresher Moors are boring. We've already had one this episode, so... anyway, if we get out the... come on now. If we get out of the Mako... You're going to be shitty like that? Is that how we're going to play this? Oh, there we go. There is some ancient debris which we can recover. And there are no signs of any survivors. The pod is empty except for a small tattered flag marked with the Niminez colony insignia. And I believe that actually... Oh, let's level up. And that might be actually all the Turian insignias. I'm not sure. I'll see on the visualizer, see what that says. Anyway, in terms of level up, briefly, I'll have Commando, I'll give Liara Warp, and I'll give Tally First Aid. Anyway, now I will see you back at the Normandy. I may or may not fight a Thresher Moor. I probably won't bother. Actually, screw it. Let's just head straight back to the Normandy. I've had enough Thresher Moors for this episode. Now, I will add in at this point that I did actually miss a scan here. There is all the way, and it's obvious, it's easy enough to miss down here, is the planet Vimal, that if we scan it, then we discovered a large deposit of uranium. Because I just kind of forgot to do that before landing on the planet. But anyway, I don't actually know how long we've got left. My timer says 15 minutes, but of course I don't have any idea how long the alternative footage of the negotiation is going to last. So this might already be a bloody 25-minute episode, and I'm about to extend it with a conversation with a squad mate, which may or may not be extremely stupid. But I'm going to do it anyway. So down here, this will be a relatively short one though, is everybody's favourite pained biotic, Caden. Actually, no, I don't want to talk to Caden. Fuck it. Because he's got stuff that's actually more relevant to another quest we're going to do next episode. So actually, let's head down to the basement. And let's finish with a little chat with Rex.
Shepard,
So you'd rather be a merc than help your people?
I'm a fighter. It's what I do.
Aren't you at all worried about what will happen to the Krogan?
What the hell do you want me to do about it, Shepard? I'm tired of sticking my ass on the line and getting nothing for it.
So you're just giving up on your people?
I gave up on fighting for a lost cause. I'm not like you, Shepard. I'm no hero. Bottom line, killing for credits simplifies things.
You ever think about helping your people?
I try not to. But there's a lot of Krogan mercs out there. I'm always running into them. Half the time I'm being paid to kill them. But that's just part of the job. You don't get to pick who your enemies are.
You must have family other than your father. Don't you miss them?
You trying to make me cry, Shepard? I've got some unfinished business with my family, but that's all.
What kind of business?
Before I left, I made an oath to my father's father. I swore to recover my family's battle armor. It was taken from him after the uprising.
What's so important about this armor?
It's a relic. Useless, really. But it was worn by 5 generations of my family before the war. It's rightfully mine. Originally, it was taken by the Turian military. We weren't allowed armor or weapons after the war. Now, it's in the hands of Ton Actus, a Turian scum who collects relics from the war. He's made millions selling Krogan artifacts that were stolen from my people. He's got several bases where he stores his goods, all fortified and guarded. I just don't know which base has my family's armor.
Just tell me where to start looking.
I'll upload the data to your nav system. But Commander, I want to be there when you find him.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.
And so, as with Garrus, with Rex there you can also acquire a quest, in this case family armor, from just chatting with him. Those two are the only ones that offer quests by talking to them. The other ones, chat as you might, you won't get quests out of them, except for there is a quest involving Tally that we've already done, Tally and the Geth, but you don't get that through Tally. You talk to her once you've already finished the Geth Incursions quest. But it's been a long episode now, we've done a fair bit of stuff, so we'll call it a day for that. So next episode is going to be the final 2 side quests I want to do before going on and doing something interesting. It's not Vermeer, but it's pretty cool. So thanks very much for watching. I've been the Doctor of the Infamous Gentleman, and this has been Mass Effect. Thank you for watching, and good day.